year 5 and 6, it is me, Mr. A, back with story time for another day, and we're going to carry on with chapter 12 of Over Sea Under Stone by Susan Cooper. So, just start my timer so we don't go over. Got a 15-minute limit on YouTube videos, so let's see how much that's why I can never get through a whole chapter in one sitting. Anyway, here we go. So let's see what Barney comes out of his meeting with Mr. Hastings looking like. Right. He did not wait for Barney to say anything. We are indeed hunting the same thing that your great uncle is hunting, my friends and I. But whatever story he has spun you about us is, quite frankly, a lot of moonshine. Your great uncle is a scholar, and an outstanding one. Nobody would dispute that, and I probably know it better than you. The trouble is that he himself knows it, and thinks about it much too much. What do you mean? Barney said indignantly. When a man is famous for being a very great scholar, he wants very much to go on being famous. You found this old manuscript, you and your brother and sister, and when you told your great uncle about it, he realized, as you did not, how important it was. When he saw it, he was even more certain. Now I, Barnabas, am the curator, that means the director, of one of the most important museums in the world. I've been hunting the manuscript that you found, and especially what it leads to, for a very long time. They are both very important to the people who study such things, and could make a lot of difference to the total of knowledge there is in the world, and your great-uncle knew I was hunting them. But when you found the manuscript, he saw that he had a chance of achieving the quest himself. The more he thought about this, the more attractive an idea it seemed. He has always been famous as a man who knows a great deal about the part of history these things are connected with. If he were to find them, he would know more than anyone else in the world. People would say, what an amazing man Professor Lyon is, to know so much. There's no one like him anywhere. To know how much? Barney said. You would not understand the details, Mr. Hastings said shortly. Then his voice dropped again to the same deep, persuasive note. Don't you see, Barnabas? Your great-uncle is concerned only with his own fame. Do you think for one moment that when you have ended the hunt, any of the credit will go to you children? It will all go to him. Whereas I and my museum and the people I employ believe that all knowledge should be shared and that no man has the right to it alone. And if you were to help us, we should take care that you had whatever credit was due to you. The whole world should know what you had done. In spite of himself, Barney had forgotten his sandwich and milk. He sat listening, troubled, trying to understand the truth for himself. Yes, great-uncle Mary was strange, often, not like other men, but all the same. He said, slow and perplexed, well, I don't know. All this just doesn't sound like great-uncle Mary. Surely he wouldn't do anything like that. But I assure you, Mr. Hastings jumped to his feet and began walking to and fro between the desk and the door. He seemed unable to keep still any longer. Many people one knows well, often most excellent people, can prove capable of the most curious acts. I do realize that you may be surprised and shocked, but this is the truth, Barnabas, and it is very much more simple than you have been led to believe. Barney said, so we ought to just give the map to you and let you find them. Just in time he caught back the word Grail. Through the whole conversation there had been no mention of what the map led to. Perhaps they knew less than they said they did. Perhaps that was one of the things they wanted to trap him into telling them. Mr. Hastings paused for a second. Yes, he said. Well, and let you find whatever it leads to. Barney picked up the glass of milk again and drank reflectively, because then you would put whatever it is in your museum and everyone would be able to know about it. Mr. Hastings nodded gravely. There you have it, Barnabas. All knowledge is sacred, but it should not be secret. I think you understand. This is something you should do, that we should do, in the name of scholarship. Barney looked down into his milk, swishing it gently round the glass. But isn't that what great-uncle Mary is doing? No, no, Mr. Hastings swung impatiently on his heel, striding, impatient and very tall, up and down the room. Whatever he does is doing in the name of Professor Lyon, and that is all. What else would he do anything for? Barney never knew afterwards what put the words into his head. He spoke before he thought, almost as if someone else was speaking through him. He heard himself saying clearly, in the name of King Arthur and of the old world before the dark came. The tall, dark figure stopped abruptly, completely still, with its back still turned. For a moment there was absolute silence in the room. It was as if Barney had pressed a switch that would at any moment bring an avalanche thundering down. He sat motionless and almost breathless in his chair. Then very slowly the figure turned. Barney gulped and felt a prickling at the roots of his hair. Mr. Hastings was at the darker end of the room, near the door, and his face was hidden in shadow, but he seemed to loom taller and more threatening than he had ever done before. And when he spoke, there was a different throb in the deep voice that paralysed Barney with fright. "You will find, Barnabas Drew," it said softly, "that the dark will always come, and always win." Barney said nothing. He felt as if he had forgotten how to speak, and his voice had died forever with his last words. Mr. Hastings did not take his eyes off him. He reached out beside him and tugged twice at a cord hanging down from the ceiling beside the door. Within seconds the door swung open and Mr. Withers slipped noiselessly inside. He had washed the dark brown stain from his arms and face. "Is everything ready?" said the deep voice. "Yes, sir," Mr. Withers hissed obsequiously. "The car is at the side door. The girl has changed. She will drive again." "You will drive with her. I shall follow in the closed car with the boy. Bill has it ready?" "The engine's already running, sir." "Where are you taking me?" Barney's voice rose shrill in fright, and he jumped down from his chair, but he could not run out of the room past the tall figure that still held his gaze. "You are coming with us to the sea," said the voice behind the dark, intent eyes. "You will cause no trouble, and you will do whatever I say. And then, when we are on the sea, Barnabas, you are going to tell us about your map and show us where it leads." Alright, that's the end of chapter 12. We'll be back again tomorrow with chapter 13, or Monday probably. Alright, so in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and have a great day. Bye bye.